In the Telegraph, and such is the racket that is PCR tests. People were buying plane tickets to Europe for like 20 or 30 quid a pop and then having to pay 3, 4, 5 times as much for a PCR test. Very expensive for families. Thankfully, travellers returning to the UK now won't have to take PCR tests at 80 quid a go, but as long as they are vaccinated. Instead, they can take lateral flow tests, which only cost 20 or 30 quid. I mean, this whole thing is such a racket. But anyway, passengers also won't have to self-isolate until they get a negative result. And the signs are that we are returning to something like normal, although it does look like it's going to be one rule for the vaccinated and another one for everyone else. This is you, Leo. Have you got some thoughts here?
Yeah, so this is, I mean, as you said, PCR tests are going to be ditched for travellers arriving in the UK, but they are going to be replaced with lateral flow tests, which I thought were free. But these ones aren't because you've been on holiday, so that's, bad. So the government isn't going to give you a free one for this.
It's also amazing how before they were unreliable, but now suddenly they're reliable again.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you got false negatives and things with them, but apparently they're not seen as. I mean, this is because Omicron or Omicron, if you've had a classical. Omicron, if you've had a classical education. I mean, I'm calling it Omicron. I don't care. I'm Scottish. I'm not going to call it Omicron.
Me and weird. Sage Willoughby and Milo Ponsonby.
Oh my God! Oh man, the state. Man, we need to bring back bullying in schools. Like these people should have had any impulse to topple a statue beaten out of them when they're still in short trousers. But anyway, I mean, this has got to be tough for a government, a Tory government to.
I really want to meet Leo's mum. Don't you want to meet Leo's mum?
Imagine.
I think she'd eat you alive.
Poor fiancé.
I just want for the experience. It's like doing a Tough Mudder or something.
Can we get back to the news?
Sorry.
This is in the Telegraph. We should take it seriously. No, I mean, Omicron isn't this sort of. It's not toppling grannies all over the place. In Scotland, there's only been one Omicron patient that's required intensive care. And that was probably for choking on a kebab. And experts are saying that travel should be allowed. I mean, there's no point stopping international travel when it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's not. It seems to be far less severe than previous variants. But yeah, I just think it's got to be tough for the government to say, oh, you don't have to have a test when people like Owen Patterson are making so much money from the company providing the tests. I mean, if you're getting all these backhanders, the government's got to feel bad seeing this gravy train.
I had Omicron all aboard the gravy train. I had Omicron over Christmas, and if I hadn't tested positive, I would not have even known I was ill. I just had a sort of slightly bad headache and was grouchy for a couple of days.
That's normal for you, isn't
exactly, it? Normal Christmas. So I wouldn't have even known. Have you had Omicron?
I think I had a Delta. I was early December before it had taken off, the whole Omicron. So I felt it, definitely. So, but I mean, if you're struggling with lateral flow tests, because I have children in secondary school, I've got a stockpile.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because they give them to the kids from the schools.
You sell them to 15 quid a pop, you're undercutting the government.
Family in America.
You can't use them for travelling, because I looked into that.
You can't use the NHS one?
You can't use the NHS one. No. I mean, if it's the same system as PCR tests, I had to spend, I think it was about 8 times more than my Ryanair flight to get a PCR test.
I think that was just you.
Yeah. They should Ryanair should start doing bargain basement PCR and lateral flow tests. Think of the money they'd give me.
Pay 2 quid extra for a negative result.
Like their flight.
No, they'd charge you about 100 quid. You know how they rip you off on your baggage allowance and all that? They'd rip you off on the flight.
Don't get me started on Ryanair.
OK, let's not. We'll move on.